The rain hammered the streets of Seattle like it had a grudge against the world, turning the neon signs of Pioneer Square into smeared watercolors. Finn Harper stood at the edge of the crowded bar, his heart pounding harder than the bass from the speakers, as he locked eyes with the man across the room, the one everyone whispered about like he was a ghost in a three-piece suit. Elias Voss, the ice-cold CEO of Vostech, sipped his scotch neat, his piercing gray eyes scanning the room with the detachment of a king surveying peasants. Finn's best friend, Riley, leaned in close, her breath hot with tequila. "You really gonna do it? Seduce the untouchable Voss? Loser buys the next round for a month." Finn swallowed hard, the bet hanging between them like a dare from the devil himself. He was 25, broke, and bartending his way through a half-finished graphic design degree at the community college up in Capitol Hill. Life in this gray city had beaten him down enough. Dead-end jobs, a string of hookups that left him emptier than before, and the constant ache of hiding who he was from his conservative folks back in Spokane. But Elias? The man was a fortress. 35, built like he bench-pressed his regrets, with olive skin that spoke of Mediterranean roots his bio never mentioned, and a reputation for firing execs faster than he finished his morning espresso. No one got close. No scandals. Just power, pure and chilling. "I bet I can make him crack," Finn said, his voice steadier than he felt, clinking his beer against Riley's shot glass. The words sealed it, a reckless spark in the damp night. He didn't know then that those words would unravel everything. His heart, his secrets, the fragile walls he'd built around his loneliness. The next morning, Finn woke to the relentless patter against his studio apartment window in Belltown, the kind of place where the walls were thin enough to hear your neighbor's dreams. Coffee burned his tongue as he scrolled job listings on his cracked phone screen. Vostech had an opening. Junior designer for their app division. Entry-level, sure, but it was a foot in the door or a wedge if he played it right. He polished his portfolio, the one with sketches of rainy alleys and shadowed figures that screamed his unspoken desires, and hit apply before doubt could claw him back. The interview was a blur of fluorescent lights and polished marble in the Vostech Tower overlooking Elliott Bay. Finn sat across from HR, a woman named Kendra with a smile like pressed linen, rambling about his passion for user-centric design. "We value innovation here," she said, glancing at her tablet. "Mr. Voss himself reviews finalists." Finn's stomach twisted. Innovation, seduction, same difference, right? He left with a handshake and a prayer, the fairy horns wailing in the distance like a siren's call. 2 weeks later, the email came. Offer accepted. Start Monday. Finn stared at the screen, pulse racing. Riley hooped over FaceTime from her shift at the coffee shop. "Holy shit, Finn. You're in. Now what? Bat those lashes at the board meeting." He laughed it off, but alone. He paced the creaky floors, imagining Elias's gaze. The cool assessment that could freeze fire. What if he failed? What if he didn't want to? Monday dawned foggy, the city cloaked in mist as Finn rode the bus downtown, his thrift store blazer itching against his skin. The lobby was a cathedral of glass and steel, employees buzzing like bees in a hive. He signed in, got his badge, and was ushered to the creative floor, a warren of open-plan desks and whiteboards scrawled with code. His cubicle overlooked the sound, waves chopping gray against the horizon, perfect for daydreams or schemes. By lunch, he'd mapped the terrain. Coffee runs to the executive lounge, where Voss held his daily briefings. Finn volunteered for the grunt work, fetching lattes with extra foam, positioning himself like a sniper in the shadows. The first glimpse came on Wednesday, Elias striding past, phone to his ear, voice a low rumble that sent shivers down Finn's spine. Dark hair cropped close, a jaw carved from marble, suit tailored to every lethal line. Finn's hand trembled as he handed over the tray, their fingers brushing for a split second. Electricity, or imagination. That night, Finn lay awake, the city's hum seeping through the cracks. Why this? Why him? The bet was stupid, a barstool boast to mask the void. Growing up in the Inland Empire, he'd learned early to bury his crushes, on the quarterback, the art teacher, under layers of sarcasm and straight guy facades. Seattle was supposed to be freedom. Rainbows in the pride flags, bars where you could hold hands without stares. But freedom felt like quicksand. Elias Voss wasn't just a challenge. He was a mirror, reflecting back the parts of Finn he kept locked away. The seduction started small, calculated risks wrapped in charm. Thursday, Finn accidentally spilled his sketchpad near the lounge, pages fluttering like confetti. Elias paused mid-stride, bending to retrieve one. A rough outline of a man silhouetted against storm clouds, vulnerability etched in every line. "Yours?" Elias asked, voice like gravel over silk. Finn's breath caught. Up close, those gray eyes held storms of their own, guarded, but flickering with something raw. "Yeah, just doodling." Finn forced a grin, heart slamming. Inspiration strikes in weird places. Elias handed it back, fingers lingering. "Keep it striking. We need that here." He walked away, leaving Finn adrift in the scent of his cologne. Cedar and salt, like the edge of the sea. Word spread. By Friday, Finn was the new guy with the sketches, the one who made the execs chuckle with his quick wit during water cooler chats. But it was Elias he watched for, the man who commanded rooms without raising his voice, who built an empire from a garage startup in the 90s boom and never looked back. Rumors swirled. A bitter divorce years ago, no dates, no flings. Ice they called him. Finn wondered what fire lay beneath. The first real crack came at the team mixer in a rooftop bar overlooking the Space Needle. Rain held off for once, stars pricking the velvet sky. Finn nursed a gin and tonic, Riley texting encouragement from afar. "Go get your billionaire." He spotted Elias alone at the railing. Tie loosened, city lights painting gold across his features. Liquid courage propelled Finn forward. "Mr. Voss. Great turnout. Casual. Easy." Elias turned, surprise softening his edges. "Finn, right? The artist invader." A ghost of a smile. "Call me Elias." They talked about design philosophies, the brutal beauty of Seattle's weather, how the city's fog mirrored the mind's mazes. Elias's laugh was rare, a low rumble that warmed Finn from the inside out. 2 drinks in, and Finn leaned closer, testing waters. "You ever let the fog win? Just drift?" Elias's gaze sharpened, then softened. "Drifting's for those who can afford to lose their way." But his hand brushed Finn's arm, deliberate. "Stay." The night blurred into possibility. Finn walked home buzzed on more than alcohol, the bet fading like morning mist. This wasn't a game anymore. It was a pull, magnetic and terrifying, toward a man who could shatter him with a word. But as he unlocked his door, phone buzzing with Riley's victory emoji, doubt crept in. What if Elias saw through him? What if the ice never melted? Finn collapsed onto his bed, staring at the ceiling cracks like fault lines. The seduction had begun, but the real risk was his own heart, teetering on the edge of freefall. Weeks bled into a rhythm. Stolen glances in meetings, late-night emails on project tweaks that veered into personal territory. "What's your story, Finn?" Elias asked once, over takeout sushi in the empty office. Finn spun half-truths, small-town boy chasing dreams, omitting the bet, the bravado, the fear that this connection was built on sand. Elias shared fragments. Orphaned young, bootstrapped Vostek through .com crashes, a life of calculated moves. "Trust is a luxury," he said, eyes distant. "I don't indulge." Yet with Finn he lingered, a hand on the small of his back during a prototype demo. A shared umbrella in the downpour, shoulders brushing. Finn's sketches evolved, Elias's profile emerging in charcoal strokes, fierce and tender. He hid them in his drawer, afraid of what they revealed. Not seduction, but surrender. Then came the gala, Vosteka's annual black tie affair at the Museum of Pop Culture. Finn rented a tux that pinched, nerves frayed as he navigated crystal glasses and schmoozing VCs. Elias found him by the Jimi Hendrix exhibit, resplendent in midnight blue, extending a hand. "Dance with me." The floor was polished oak, strings swelling like a heartbeat. Elias's palm was warm against Finn's, guiding him through waltzes neither knew well. Laughter bubbled up, genuine and light. "Your trouble?" Elias murmured, breath ghosting Finn's ear. The best kind, Finn replied, bold in the dim light. Their first kiss happened there, in a shadowed alcove amid guitar relics. Urgent, tasting of champagne and unspoken hungers. Elias pulled back first, eyes stormy. This complicates things. Finn's chest ached with want. Or simplifies them. They tumbled into Elias's penthouse that night, the Space Needle winking like a conspirator through floor-to-ceiling windows. Clothes shed like inhibitions, bodies mapping uncharted territories. Elias was fire beneath the ice. Demanding, reverent, whispering Finn's name like a prayer. In the afterglow, tangled in silk sheets, Elias traced Finn's collarbone. Stay. Finn did, dawn breaking over the sound. The bet? A distant echo. This was real, raw, electric, a lifeline in the gray. But reality intruded Monday morning. Bored whispers. HR memos. Elias's assistant, a hawk-eyed woman named Theo, cornered Finn in the break room. Careful. He doesn't do entanglements. Finn brushed it off, but the seed of unease took root. Elias grew distant at work. Professional chill resuming. Yet their nights burned hotter, weekends stolen in cabin getaways up in the Cascades, where pine-scented air stripped them bare. One evening, hiking a trail near Snoqualmie, Elias stopped at a overlook, wind whipping his hair. I haven't let anyone in since. My ex. She took everything. Trust, pieces of me. His voice cracked, vulnerability cracking the facade. Finn cupped his face, thumbs brushing stubble. I'm not her. I'm here. Elias's kiss was fierce, sealing promises neither voiced. But as they descended, Finn's phone vibrated. Riley. How's the conquest? Bill. Guilt twisted like a knife. The lie festered, even as love bloomed. Lazy Sundays with pancakes. Elias's head in Finn's lap as they binge-watched old noirs. Confessions murmured in the dark about dreams deferred. Identities forged in fire. Yet shadows loomed. Elias's biggest investor, a silver-haired shark named Harlan, eyed Finn during a pitch meeting, lips curling. New muse, Elias? Careful with distractions. Elias's jaw tightened. Finn's integral. Integral. The word warmed, but Harlan's gaze lingered, predatory. Finn excused himself, splashing water on his face in the bathroom, staring at his reflection. Flushed, alive, terrified. This wasn't seduction. It was salvation, and the bet could destroy it all. The fracture started subtly, like a hairline crack in glass you only notice when light hits it wrong. It was late October, leaves turning the parks along Lake Union into fire-kissed canvases. But the chill in Elias's office felt deeper than autumn's bite. Finn had stayed over again, their routine now a sacred rhythm. Coffee brewed strong, bodies entwined until alarms shattered the haze. But this morning, Elias lingered at his desk, scrolling emails with a furrowed brow that hadn't eased in days. Something up? Finn asked, buttoning his shirt, the city skyline a hazy backdrop through the blinds. Elias glanced up, forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Just Harlan, pushing for that merger with Apex Dynamics. Aggressive. He stood, pulling Finn close for a quick kiss. Perfunctory, distracted. Go crush that redesign. I'll see you tonight. Finn nodded, but the dismissal stung like salt in a cut. Down in the creative bullpen, he threw himself into pixels and palettes, sketching interfaces that flowed like water over stone. Colleagues ribbed him good-naturedly. Harper's got that glow, Voss's secret weapon. But Finn waved it off, heat creeping up his neck. Secret. Yeah. Lunch was a solo affair at a food truck parked near the market. Fish tacos dripping with crema as gulls wheeled overhead. Riley called, her voice crackling over the line from her bar shift prep. Dude, it's been weeks. You ghosting on updates? Did you bag the CEO or what? Finn chewed slowly, the bet's ghost rising unbidden. It's complicated. Good complicated. She squealed. Details. Is he as frosty up close? He's not Frost. He's... Finn paused, searching for words that wouldn't betray the tenderness. Real. Intense. The call ended with her teasing threats to crash their next date. But Finn pocketed his phone heavier than before. Real. But built on what? A drunken wager in a dive bar, whispered to drown out the loneliness. Afternoons blurred into focus. A prototype demo where Elias praised Finn's intuitive layouts, his hand grazing Finn's shoulder in passing. Electric, affirming. But Harlan lurked in the periphery, a wolf in bespoke wool, cornering Elias after. Finn caught snippets. Personal entanglements undermine focus. We've built this on discipline, not dalliances. Elias's response was clipped, door slamming shut. Finn retreated to his desk, heart hammering. Dalliance. Is that what they were? That night, Elias's penthouse felt vast, the modernist lines echoing emptiness. Takeout containers steamed on the coffee table. Pad Thai from their favorite spot on Broadway, but Elias picked at his eyes on his laptop. Harlan's doubling down. Wants veto power on hires if we merge. Finn slid closer on the leather couch, thigh pressing against Elias's. Screw him. You're the visionary here. Elias's laugh was bitter, hollow. Visionaries fall if they ignore the board. My father's ghost, protect the legacy, haunts every decision. He closed the screen, turning to Finn with a hunger that bordered on desperation. They made love on the rug, fierce and reclaiming, Elias's hands mapping Finn's skin like he feared it'd vanish. After, in the quiet, Elias traced patterns on Finn's chest. You ground me, you know that? In a world of sharks, you're air. Finn's throat tightened, the lie a boulder on his tongue. Ditto. But sleep evaded him, the city lights pulsing like accusations. The next week escalated. Harlan scheduled informal dinners, dragging Elias to steakhouses in Belltown where power plays masqueraded as small talk. Finn tagged along once, uninvited but persistent, nursing a soda while the men dissected market shares. Harlan's eyes flicked to him dismissively. Creative talent's vital, but loyalty? That's the spine. Elias bristled. Finn's loyal. To the company? Or to you? Harlan's smile was a blade. The drive home was silent, tension thick as fog. Ignore him, Elias muttered, knuckles white on the wheel. He's testing boundaries. Finn wanted to believe it. Instead, he poured everything into work. A bold rebrand pitch for Vosteka's wellness app, infusing it with his sketches of resilient figures emerging from storms. Elias called him into his office to review. The space a sanctuary of teak and glass, Puget Sound glittering below. This is brilliant, Elias said, flipping pages. It's not just design. Soul. His gaze lifted, softening. Like you. Heat flooded Finn. He crossed the room, perching on the desk's edge. Flattery? From the Ice King. Elias rose, hands framing Finn's hips. Only for my subjects. The kiss deepened, desk papers scattering like leaves. They nearly lost the afternoon there, tangled in blind shadows, until a knock shattered the spell. Theo with scheduling conflicts. Later, Elias promised, voice husky, but later came with Harlan's shadow lengthening. Riley noticed first, over beers at her bar after a grueling shift. The place was a cozy dive in Fremont, fairy lights strung like stars, locals nursing IPAs. You look wrecked, babe. Lover boys icing you out. Finn swirled his pint, foam clinging like regret. Work stress, big merger looming. She arched a brow. The bet was fun, but this? You're in deep. Tell him. The words hung. Tell him. Expose the farce, risk the fragile bridge they'd built. What if it breaks us? Riley squeezed his hand. What if it doesn't? Authenticity's your superpower. Finn. Don't hide. He nodded, but fear coiled tighter. That weekend, they escaped to a cabin in the Olympics, rented on a whim, cedar walls, a stone fireplace crackling against November chill. Snow dusted the peaks, air crisp with pine. They hiked trails blanketed in frost, breaths clouding, hands linked. Atop a ridge, Elias pulled Finn against him, wind howling. Remember our first dance? Felt like a dream. Best kind? Finn murmured, nuzzling his neck. They made camp in a meadow, blankets spread, stars wheeling overhead. Elias shared stories, boyhood summers in a Greek enclave of Astoria, Queens, before his parents' crash uprooted him to Seattle's foster maze. Learned early, walls up or get crushed. Finn listened, heart aching. You built an empire instead. That's strength. Elias's eyes gleamed. You see me, not the CEO. Me. He kissed Finn's slow, reverent, bodies warming under wool. I love you. The words landed like thunder, stealing breath. Finn's chest cracked open. I love you too. True bone deep, but the bet echoed, a serpent in Eden. Back in the city, cracks widened. Harlan leaked rumors. Anonymous emails to the board hinting at internal distractions, compromising the merger. Elias raged in a closed-door meeting, voice echoing down halls. Finn overheard, shrinking in his cubicle. That night, Elias arrived disheveled, bourbon on his breath. A rarity. He's gunning for me. Thinks vulnerability's a weakness. He collapsed beside Finn, head in lap. But you're my strength. Finn stroked his hair, tears pricking. We'll fight it together. But doubt gnawed. Late one evening, alone in the office, Finn rifled through old emails. Innocent project threads laced with flirtation. A photo attachment. Him and Elias at the gala. Candid. Intimate. Harlan had it too, forwarded with a note. Handle your liabilities. Panic surged. Finn deleted traces, but the damage festered. He confided in Riley over midnight tacos. Rain lashing her window. It's poisoning us. The merger's a noose. She hugged him tight. Come clean, before it chokes you both. The opportunity came at Thanksgiving. Elias's invite to his waterfront loft. Just them, turkey roasting, jazz crooning from speakers. Candles flickered, casting gold on Elias's face as they ate cross-legged on the floor. First holiday without ghosts, Elias said, clinking glasses. To us. To us. Finn's voice wavered. Post-dinner, wine warming veins. They curled on the balcony. Fairy lights bobbing distant. Elias, there's something. Elias tensed. Tell me. The words stuck. Instead, Finn kissed him, pouring truth into touch. They retreated inside, love making a bomb. Slow, exploratory, reaffirming. But in the dark, Elias whispered, whatever it is, we face it. Morning brought resolve. Finn drafted an email to HR, anonymous tip on Harlan's maneuvers. But before sending, Theo burst in, pale, urgent. Board emergency. Harlan's calling a vote. Chaos erupted. Suits in conference rooms, whispers like wasps. Elias emerged hours later, drained. Mergers on ice. Thanks to intel. His eyes met Finn's across the floor, grateful, piercing. Relief washed, but guilt crested. That night over reheated pie, Finn cracked. The bet started as a stupid dare with Riley. Seduce you, prove I could. But it's real now. I swear. Silence stretched taut. Elias's face shuddered, gray eyes storming. A bet. Quiet, lethal. Elias, please. You played me. He stood, voice fracturing. After everything. The walls I tore down. Finn reached, desperate. I fell. Hard. It's not. Get out. Elias turned away, shoulders rigid. Finn fled into the rain-slick night, tears mingling with drops. The seduction had won the bet, but lost the man. Heart in shards, he wandered Capitol Hill streets, neon blurring. Betrayal's blade cut deepest when self-inflicted. Days blurred into numbness. Sick days called, sketches abandoned, Riley's voicemails piling. Elias's silence was a void, sucking light. Then a package, Elias's scrawled note. One chance. Coffee. Neutral ground. Finn arrived at the cafe in Queen and, hands trembling over latte foam. Elias sat by the window, haggard, beautiful. I replayed it. The fear. But love isn't logical. Finn's breath hitched. I hate myself for it. Elias's hand covered his. Hate the lie. Not you. Forgiveness flickered. Tentative. Rebuild. They did slowly. Dates redefined, walks in Discovery Park, hands tentative then sure. Elias opened more. Therapy sessions. Mending old wounds. Finn quit hiding sketches. Gifting one. A dual portrait, intertwined souls against tempest. Harlan's ploy backfired. Board ousted him. Merger salvaged on Elias's terms. Victory tasted bittersweet, shadowed by scars. Winter deepened, holidays twinkling. New Year's Eve. Atop the penthouse, fireworks bursting over the Needle. Elias pulled Finn close. No more games. Just us. Us, Finn echoed, sealing with a kiss. But beneath joy, a whisper. Trust, fragile as new snow. January's grip on Seattle was unrelenting, ice glazing the sidewalks like a cruel varnish over the holiday's warmth. Finn navigated the slush to Vostek with cautious steps, his breath fogging in the crystalline air. Each exhale a reminder of the fragile thaw between him and Elias. The confession had bridged the chasm, but bridges creak under weight, and Finn felt every plank shift. Elias's texts were steady. Lunch? Missed you in the meeting. But his eyes held echoes of doubt, a guarded flicker that made Finn's chest ache with the urge to prove himself. The office hummed with post-holiday buzz. Resolutions whispered over vending machines, new hires touring the floor. Finn buried in his latest project, a VR wellness module. Immersive forests where users could escape urban grind. His designs pulsed with life, branches reaching like Elias's fingers in quiet moments. During a walkthrough, Elias joined, arms crossed, nodding approval. This heals, he said softly, for Finn's ears alone. Like you do. The words mended a fracture, and that night, they dined at a hole-in-the-wall Italian in Georgetown. Candle stubs guttering on checkered cloths. Pasta twirled, wine loosened tongues. Elias spoke of childhood Christmases in foster homes, string lights on sagging porches, the scent of pine from scavenged boughs. Learned to make my own light, he admitted, vulnerability a gift. Finn shared too. Spoken winters, skating on frozen ponds, hiding crushes in snow forts. Always felt like an outsider looking in, their hands linked across the table, anchors in the tide. But tides turn. Mid-month, Harlan resurfaced, not ousted, merely sidelined, his influence a subterranean current. Whispers reached Finn. Board allies questioning Elias's stability, citing the merger scare. Then, an email blast. Anonymous, but Harlan's venom unmistakable. Leaked photos from the gala, Finn and Elias entwined, caption leadership lapses. The bullpen erupted in murmurs. Kendra from HR pulled Finn aside, face sympathetic but scripted. Discretion, Finn. Company policy frowns on conflicts. Finn's stomach plummeted. It's not. We know. But optics matter. She patted his arm, dismissal wrapped in kindness. Elias stormed into a damage control meeting, emerging with thunderclouds. That evening, his penthouse felt besieged, takeout untouched. He's not done, twisting our private into public fodder. Finn paced the Persian rug, fury boiling. Fight dirty back. Expose him. Elias shook his head, weary. That's his game. I won't descend. He pulled Finn down, embrace fierce. We won't let him touch this. But touches lingered. Stairs and hallways, colleagues' pitying glances. Finn's confidence frayed. Sketches turned jagged, forests thorny. Riley dragged him to a drag brunch in Capitol Hill, Queen's lip-syncing to Gaga under rainbow balloons. Own your shit, she toasted, mimosa fizzing. Harlan's a relic. You're the future. Her fire reignited his. He pitched an anti-bullying feature for the app, anonymous support networks, coded in resilience. Elias greenlit it instantly, pride softening his gaze during the review. Bold. Necessary. Their reconnection deepened in stolen hours. A weekend in Portland, rainy markets and bookshops, hands brushing in indie stores smelling of ink and old pages. Elias bought Finn a volume of Whitman, Leaves of Grass, inscribing inside, "For the one who makes me whole." Finn read aloud by hotel lamplight, verses weaving their story. Pioneers of the self, unashamed. Back home, intimacy bloomed anew. Lazy mornings where Elias traced Finn's freckles like constellations. Nights where bodies spoke what words faltered. "You're my north," Elias murmured once. Post-climax glow painting them gold. Finn believed it, the bet's shadow shrinking to footnote. Yet February brought blizzards, literal and figurative. Snow snarled commutes, Vostok half empty. Finn worked remote from his apartment. Video calls with Elias's face filling screens. Tired, but tender. "Wish you here," Elias said one stormy afternoon. Static crackling. "Come over after?" Finn teased, camera dipping to show his rumpled bed. Elias's chuckle warmed pixels. "Tempting my focus? Your focus needs tempting." Playful, but beneath lurked the fear. Was he distraction or devotion? The real storm hit mid-month. Harlan's coup. A board proxy vote, timed for Elias's absence at a tech summit in Vegas. Finn learned via frantic text from Theo. Harlan's pushing no confidence. Emergency session now. Panic clawed. Finn raced downtown, tires slipping on black ice, heart in throat. The tower loomed, lobby a ghost town. Elevators groaned upward, depositing him at the executive floor where voices leaked from the conference room. Sharp, accusatory. He shouldn't have listened. But the door was ajar, Harlan's baritone slicing. Personal indiscretions erode investor trust. Voss's involvement with a subordinate? Amateur hour. Elias wasn't there. Still en route from the airport, Theo confirmed. Wringing hands. Finn's blood roared. Subordinate. Indiscretion. Rage propelled him inside, ignoring stares. "Enough," Finn barked, voice echoing off glass walls. Board members, stiff suits, pearl necklaces, gaped. Harlan smirked, leaning back. "Mr. Harper, this is private." "Like your leaks?" Finn stepped forward, fists clenched. "Elias built this from nothing. You're a vulture picking at scraps." Murmurs rippled. Harlan's eyes narrowed. "Loyalty's admirable but misplaced. Your relationship is the liability." Finn's laugh was brittle. "Relationship? It's love. Real earned. Unlike your games." A woman in tweed, board chair, Margaret, cleared her throat. Bold words. "But policy. Screw policy." Finn's voice broke, raw. "Elias deserves better than whispers and witch hunts." The door flew open then. Elias, coat dusted with snow, eyes widening at the scene. "Finn!" Harlan pounced. "Perfect timing. Your boy here's causing a scene." Elias's gaze flicked between them, storming. "Out. All of you." Quiet command, room emptying like drained bath. Harlan lingered, sneer curling. "This isn't over." Alone, Elias rounded on Finn. "What the hell? Barging in. He was gutting you." Finn exploded, tears hot. "Calling us a mistake. I couldn't." Elias deflated, rubbing temples. "I handle my battles. You just made it personal." "It is personal." Finn's voice cracked. "You, Mia, I won't let him erase that." Elias pulled him close, embrace crushing. "You idiot. Brave, beautiful idiot." The kiss was salt and fury, dissolving into need. They retreated to Elias's office couch, world narrowing to touches, fingers unlacing belts, breaths mingling desperate. Release came shuddering, a reclaiming. After curled in rumpled suits, Elias sighed. "You fought for me. No one's done that." Finn nuzzled his neck. "Always." The board relented, Margaret's sway tipping scales. But Harlan slithered away, promising retaliation. Elias fortified, legal reviews, PR shields. Their bond, tempered in fire, gleamed stronger. Spring teased with crocuses in Green Lake Park. Walks where Elias proposed. Casual, over hot dogs. "Marry me? Make it official, no shadows." Finn's yes was a sob, ring simple platinum, engraved north. But joy tempered with vigilance. Harlan's silence was a held breath. Riley threw an impromptu party at her bar, toasts clinking amid karaoke warbles. To Finn, slayer of CEOs and bigots, laughter flowed, but Finn caught Elias's quiet watchfulness, hand possessive on his knee. Nights deepened intimacy. Role-play whispers exploring edges, silk ties binding wrists, trust absolute. Elias confessed fantasies long buried, Greek myths of lovers defying gods. Finn embodied them, yielding and claiming, bodies a canvas of devotion. Yet, fissures whispered. Late April, a Vostek leak. Internal memos twisted online, fingering Elias in nepotism. Harlan's hand, undeniable. Elias retreated inward, nights at the office till dawn. Finn waited alone, meals cold, sketches piling like unanswered pleas. One such night, Finn confronted him in the tower's glow, city asleep below. Talk to me. Don't shut down. Elias's eyes were hollow. I can't lose this. You won't. Finn knelt, hands on knees. We're unbreakable. The vulnerability cracked him. Elias pulling Finn up, desk becoming altar. Lovemaking urgent, reclaiming ground. But dawn brought resolve. Private investigator on Harlan, evidence mounting. May bloomed, cherry blossoms carpeting University District streets. Their engagement dinner, intimate at a bistro overlooking the canal. Sealed with vows exchanged early, rings glinting. Till the storms pass, Elias toasted. Finn smiled, but intuition prickled. Harlan's endgame loomed, a betrayal brewing. Love's height invited falls, and Finn braced for the plummet. Summer crept into Seattle like a hesitant lover, sun piercing the perennial overcast, turning Lake Washington into a mirror of azure skies. Finn and Elias's engagement photos, snapped by a friend in Golden Gardens, captured them windswept on driftwood, hands laced, laughter genuine amid salt spray. The shots went viral in niche circles. Vostek CEO comes out with fiancé, headlines blending admiration and scrutiny. Elias fielded calls with practiced calm, but Finn felt the weight. Freedom's price in stares and speculation. Work thrived. Finn's anti-bullying feature launched to acclaim, user testimonials flooding in, teens from rural Washington finding voices, mirrors to his own youth. Elias beamed at the launch party in the tower's atrium, palm warm on Finn's low back. You changed lives, he whispered amid clinking glasses. Pride Weekend amplified it. Rainbow flags snapping along 4th Avenue, parades pulsing with bass and bodies painted electric. They marched hand in hand, Elias's suit traded for a tea-emblazoned love winds, Finn's arm around his waist. Cheers swelled, but so did catcalls. Harlan's echoes and trolls online. PR stunt for the merger? Finn muted notifications, focusing on the joy. Drag floats, confetti cannons, Elias's rare grin under face paint hearts. Homecomings were havens. Rooftop barbecues with Riley and Theo, grilling salmon as ferries cut wakes below. Elias, sleeves rolled, flipped fillets with focus, sharing glances that smoldered. Nights ended in tangled sheets, explorations bolder. Elias introducing toys from discreet packages. Finn's gasps music to his ears. Tell me what you need, Elias urged, voice gravel, building trust layer by layer. But July's heat wave baked unease. Harlan struck via proxy. A lawsuit from a disgruntled ex-employee, alleging favoritism. Finn's rapid rise cited, photos appended. Elias's lawyers swatted it, but media frenzy ignited. Tabloids dubbing Finn, the designer who melted Voss. Elias withdrew again, jaw set in boardroom marathons. Finn paced their shared condo now. Elias insisting on merging lives, boxes still half unpacked in the spare room. He's wearing you down, Finn said one sweltering evening, fans whirring futilely. Elias loosened his tie, sweat beading on his olive skin. It's strategy. Endure. Endure isn't live. Finn's frustration boiled over, words tumbling. I want mornings without mergers, walks without whispers. Elias's eyes flashed hurt. This is my life. Our life. The argument simmered, unresolved, cooling only in bed. Make-up sex a truce, bodies colliding with unspoken apologies. But resentment lingered. Finn sketching alone at dawn, figures fractured. Riley intervened over iced lattes in a shaded cafe near Gas Works Park, kites dotting the sky. You're both alphas. Compromise or combust. Finn sighed, stirring sugar. He built walls for a reason. I get it, but Harlan's exploiting every crack. She leaned in, then seal them. Together. The pivot came at a retreat Elias planned. Week in the San Juans, ferry to Orcas Island, cabin perched on cliffs. Salt air cleansed, hikes through madrona groves shedding inhibitions like bark. One evening, bonfire crackling, stars a canopy, Elias knelt. Not proposal redux but plea. I pushed you away, fear. But you're my anchor. Finn pulled him up, flames dancing in their eyes. And you're my storm. We navigate. They made love on the beach, waves lapping, sand gritting skin. Primal, equal. Return invigorated. Joint therapy sessions, unpacking betrayals past and present. Elias admitted Harlan's leverage. Old affair unearthed, twisted into blackmail fodder. He knows my scars. Finn's resolve hardened. Then we scar him. August brought counterstrike. PI reports detailing Harlan's embezzlement. Skimming investor funds for offshore accounts. Elias presented to the board, voice steel, evidence irrefutable. Harlan resigned in disgrace, slinking to Miami with tail tucked. Victory tasted like craft beer at a Fremont microbrewery, toasts with Riley and Theo echoing. To slaying dragons, Elias said, clinking Finn's glass, kiss public and unapologetic. Fall whispered in, leaves gilding Fairmount Park trails. Wedding plans wove through days. Venue in a vineyard outside Woodinville, vows scripted with Whitman echoes. Finn's family visited. Tentative bridge to spoken roots. His mom hugging Elias stiffly. Dad gruff but thawing over Seahawks games. But October's equinox stirred ghosts. An envelope arrived at the office. Anonymous, postmarked Miami. Grainy photos of Finn's early days, bar nights with Riley. The bet scribbled on a napkin, circled. How far will you go for the throne? Finn's blood iced. Elias found him staring, pallid. What is it? Truth again, knife-edged. The bet. Proof. Harlan must have tailed me. Elias scanned, face ashen. You told me it was over. It is. But this resurrects it. Elias crumpled the paper, voice fracturing. Was any real? Or just the long con? Finn's world tilted. Elias, no. Every moment. Every touch. Doubt poisoned eyes. I need space. He left, door clicking like finality. Finn unraveled. Calls to Riley unanswered in her panic. Sketches shredded in fury. Nights in the condo alone, ghosts of laughter mocking. Harlan's betrayal wasn't just corporate. It was personal, dredging Finn's shame. November rains returned, relentless. Finn threw himself into work, designs manic, apps for mental health crises, pouring pain into code. Colleagues tiptoed, Kendra offering AP sessions he ignored. Elias's absence was a vacuum. Text sparse, processing. Finn wandered Pike Place, stalls fragrant with fish and flowers, memories assaulting. First date here, Elias buying tulips, petals like hope. Confrontation brewed at the office holiday party, decked in evergreens and lights. Finn arrived armored in velvet blazer, Riley on arm for moral support. Elias stood across the room, magnetic and charcoal, eyes locking inevitable. You came, Elias said, voice low amid carols. Wouldn't miss proving you wrong. Finn's chin lifted, defiant. They slipped to a balcony, chill nipping. I replayed it, Elias confessed. The napkin. Your words. It was idiocy. You were everything after. Finn stepped closer, breath visible. Test me. Ask anything. Elias's hand cupped his jaw, thumb tracing lip. Why me? Truly. Because you're fire in frost. Seen, not conquered. Tears welled. I love you. Bet be damned. The kiss ignited, desperate, devouring, party fading. They left entwined, home a sanctuary. Barriers crumbled. Elias admitting fear of loss. Finn vowing transparency. Harlan's photos burned in the fireplace, ashes to wind. December healed. Tree trimming with ornaments from Elias's childhood. Cookies baked lopsided. Wedding neared. Invitations scented with evergreens. New Year's. They rang in on the balcony. Elias's toast. To truths that bind. But as snow dusted the sound, Finn pondered. Betrayal's echo. Faint but persistent. Love demanded vigilance. Compassion for wounds self-inflicted. Their story, a tapestry of men's. Winter solstice passed in a hush of candlelight and quiet vows exchanged early, before the vineyard ceremony. Elias and Finn sealing promises in a justice's office overlooking the Snohomish River. Rings exchanged with trembling hands. In storms and sun, Elias murmured, kiss sealing eternity. The official wedding followed in June's bloom, but this private rite was theirs. Raw, unadorned, a bulwark against Harlan's lingering spite. Spring 2026 unfurled gentle. Vostek's surging post-scandal. Finn's features lauded in tech mags. Elias keynoting at South by Southwest with Finn at his side, hands brushing podium shadows. Their life wove domestic poetry. Mornings in the condo kitchen. Elias scrambling eggs while Finn sketched over coffee, steam curling like dreams. Weekends kayaking on Lake Union. Paddles dipping syncopated, laughter echoing off houseboats. Yet undercurrents stirred. Harlan's exile bred bitterness. Anonymous tips to press painted Elias as tyrant, Finn as opportunist. One article stung. From bed to bed. The Voss affair unraveled. Finn's napkin scribble, digitized and distorted, fueled speculation. Elias dismissed it publicly, but privately old doubts resurfaced. Nights where he'd wake staring at ceilings, Finn's arm across his chest a tether he questioned. Finn sensed it, countering with gestures. Surprise picnic in Volunteer Park. Conservatory orchids framing sandwiches. Whispers of forever. We're solid, he'd affirm, lips to pulse. Elias yielded, but tension coiled. A spring wound tight. Riley's wedding gift. A weekend at a queer resort in the Olympics. Offered respite. Cabins nestled in ferns. Hot springs steaming under stars. They soaked naked, waters mineral-kissed, Elias's head on Finn's shoulder. Remember the bet? Elias ventured, voice tentative. Finn tensed, ripples spreading. Ancient history. Is it? Elias lifted, eyes searching. Harlan's poison lingers. Makes me wonder. What if? Finn cupped water to his face, droplets tracing jaw. What if nothing? I chose you. Daily. The soak turned intimate, hands exploring submerged, affirmations in gasps. But words needed. That night, by firelight, Finn confessed depths. The bet's void it filled, his identity's forge in loving boldly. Elias listened, tears tracking. I fear losing you to my chaos. You won't. Chaos is ours. Embrace tightened, mending threads. Summer hummed. Vineyard vows under arbors heavy with Pinot grapes. Guests a tapestry. Riley maid of honor in emerald. Theo best man with rye toasts. Finn's folks beaming tentative pride. Vows echoed Whitman. I give you myself, Finn pledged. Elias's I receive, voice breaking. Dance floor spun under string lights. Elias twirling Finn to soul tunes. World narrowing to two. Honeymoon in the Greek Isles, Elias's roots called whitewashed Santorini cliffs, Aegean blues mirroring eyes. They wandered ruins, hands linked, Elias narrating myths. Achilles' heel, love's defying fates. Like us, he said atop OIA, sun dipping crimson. Nights in cliffside suites, bodies oiled and urgent, sea crashing below like applause. Return grounded them. Home Renos, a studio edition for Finn's art. Walls lined in canvases of their journey. Portraits evolving from solitary figures to entwined silhouettes. Elias hung them proudly, gallery of grace. But autumn's harvest brought harvest of woes. Harlan, unbowed, launched a rival startup, Vortex Innovations, poaching Vostek talent with fat offers and smear campaigns. Boardroom battles raged, Elias's temper flaring rare. He's bleeding us, he confided one stormy night, thunder rumbling. Finn massage temples. Counter with vision. Your wellness line. Expand it. Elias's eyes lit. Partner in crime? Always. They brainstormed till dawn, coffee cold, synergy electric. Fall deepened, leaves carpeting Ravenna Park paths. A scare jolted. Finn's physical revealed elevated stress markers, sleepless nights manifesting. Elias insisted on sabbatical, whisking him to Maine's coast. His unspoken nod to roots, lobster shacks, and lighthouse walks. Fog-enshrouded mornings, they bundled on rocks, waves gnashing. You're fraying, Elias said, while scarf muffling. Finn leaned in. For us, worth it. Elias's hold tightened. No more. Balance or break. The promise reshaped. Delegated duties, date nights mandatory. Jazz clubs in Jackson Place. Improvising lives. Intimacy evolved. Tantric explorations, breaths synced, vulnerability bared. Elias revealed fantasies of submission. Finn guiding with care, power exchanged in whispers. December's festivities healed further. Hosting Riley's holiday, tree adorned with heirlooms, stories swapped till embers died. But New Year's Eve, a call shattered. Harlan's Vortex sued Vostek for IP theft. Finn's designs, twisted claims. Elias's rage was arctic. He's targeting you. Finn's fear crested. Because of me, the bet's ghost. No, Elias fierce. Because he fears us. Legal wars ensued. Depositions draining. Finn testified, voice steady. My work's original. Love doesn't steal. Jury sided but toll-mounted Elias gaunt. Finn insomniac. Spring 2027 bloomed tentative. Cherry blossoms fragile. Retreat to a cabin in the Methow Valley. Wildflowers nodding. There, amid aspen groves, Elias proposed renewal. Not rings but ritual. Burying the napkin remnant, ashes to soil. Plant new, he said, dirt under nails. Finn nodded, tears salting earth. Grow. Summer festivals. Seattle's folklife, stages alive with fiddles and drums. They danced barefoot, sweat slick, reclaiming joy. But Harlan's shadow persisted, press hounding, investors wavering. Climax brewed in August. Vortex's launch gala in San Francisco, Harlan toasting rivals. Elias crashed it, Finn in tow, uninvited audacity. Spotlight hot, Harlan smirking from dais. To innovation without compromise. Elias seized mic, voice resonant. True innovation? Inclusive. No room for vendettas. Slides projected, Harlan's embezzlement redux, ethical breaches. Gasps rippled. Join us or fade. Harlan blanched, empire crumbling live. Backlash swift, partners fleeing SEC probes. Victory Pyrrhic, Elias collapsed post-flight, exhaustion fever. Finn nursed him, broths, cool cloths, vigil tender. You avenged us. Elias' weak smile. We did. Fall mended, therapy deepened, forgiveness cycles. Finn's art show, galleries in Pioneer Square, pieces of their saga, drew crowds, Elias's pride palpable. My muse, he whispered amid admirers. Winter closed the year gentle. Anniversary in the vineyard, vows renewed under frost-kissed vines. Through betrayals to truth, Finn toasted. But truth's price, compassion's forge. Harlan's fall humanized, broken man, regrets emailed apology. Elias replied grace. Move on, as we have. Their love, scarred luminous, beaconed freedom. Identities owned, hearts unbound. Yet Finn knew storms circle. Vigilance, love's quiet sentinel. The wheel turned into 2028. Seattle's skies a palimpsest of cleared grays and tentative blues, mirroring the slow unclenching in Finn and Elias's world. Harlan's ruin receded like a bad tide. His startup folded under investigations, the man himself vanishing into Florida obscurity. Whispers of therapy and seclusion his epitaph. Elias framed the apology email, not for triumph, but reminder. Even villains fracture human. Finn nodded, tucking it into a drawer with old sketches, artifacts of becoming. Life settled into rhythms profound. Vosteka's wellness empire expanded. Finn heading a non-profit arm, digital lifelines for LGBTQ plus youth in red state shadows. His story anonymized but pulse evident. Elias mentored startups, olive branch to rivals. His ice fully thawed into mentorship's warmth. Mornings, they jogged Alki Beach, dawn gilding Olympics across the Narrows, hands brushing in syncopated footfalls. Anniversaries marked milestones. Second year, a road trip tracing Route 101. Oregon dunes to California reds, camper van stuffed with playlists and promises. Campfires crackled under big skies, Elias strumming guitar, halting chords from boyhood lessons. Finn harmonizing off-key, laughter bonfires of its own. This, Elias said one star-drenched night in Big Sur, bodies cliffside wrapped, is freedom. Finn traced constellations on his chest. Ours. Urban pulses interwove. Charity galas where they arrived arms linked, defying stares. Quiet nights at home, Elias cooking souvlaki from ancestral recipes. Finn's head on counter watching, love in the sizzle. Intimacy matured, less frenzy, more depth. Mornings slow, explorations linguistic, Elias learning Finn's languages of touch. Words in Greek murmured like spells. Challenges lingered, humanistic in scope. Finn's family mended gradual. Spokane visits, his dad's fishing trips with Elias, awkward casts yielding stories swapped over trout. Mom's embrace softened, pride pins on her lapel tentative flags. You chose brave, she said once, tears unshed. Elias's scars surfaced seasonal. Anniversaries of parents' loss, quiet vigils at sea-scattered ashes. Finn held space, no fixes, just presence, hands cradling. Grief's a tide, Elias admitted post one, dawn breaking. You steady the shore. Spring brought surprise. Finn's exhibit in New York, MoMA Fringe, their dual portrait centerpiece. Flight East, Elias at opening, champagne flutes clinking amid critics' murmurs. Raw, revolutionary. One penned. Finn blushed, Elias's pride a spotlight warmer. Return seated domestic dreams. Talks of family, not blood, but chosen. Surrogacy explored, ethics weighed, hearts tilting toward expansion. A piece of us, Elias mused over wine in the garden they'd planted. Roses and lavender, thorns and soothe. Summer's zenith tested anew. Vostek acquisition bid from a Bay Area giant. Terms predatory. Board divided, Elias warring internally. Legacy versus liquidity. Finn mediated midnight councils, pros cons on napkins, ironic echo. Your call, Finn urged. But fight for soul. Elias declined. Stock dipping then rebounding on integrity's wave. Media hailed. Voss stands firm. Backlash minimal. Allies multiplied. Fall harvested bounty. Nonprofit's first gala. Finn emceeing, Elias silent auctioneer. Funds poured for shelters, stories shared. Youth echoing Finn's youth, identities affirmed. One teen's note. Your app saved me. Thank you for being. Tears pricked. Elias squeezed hand under table. Impact. Winter wrap gentle. Holidays hybrid, blending traditions. Greek Orthodox feasts with Seattle solstice hikes. Trees dual adorned in baubles and bones of driftwood. Riley, now partnered, hosted game nights. Laughter labyrinthine. But climax shadowed soft. Elias's health scare. Routine scan flagging anomaly. Heart murmur from stress's backlog. Specialist visits. Echoes cold. Manageable. Verdict. But fears grip vice. Finn's vigil renewed. Meals portioned. Runs paced. Nights where worry wove through lovemaking. Tender. Urgent. You're my beat. Finn whispered post one checkup clear. Stethoscope discarded. Elias chuckled, frail then firm. And you're mine. Resolution bloomed humanistic. Lifestyle shifts. Yoga in the park. Meditations shared. Breathwork unveiling identities deeper. Elias journaled myths retold. Heroes queer-coded. Finn illustrated. Pages of private epic. Spring 2029. Surrogacy greenlit. Journey tentative. Match found. Hopes planted like the garden's return. Ultrasounds first grainy, then vivid, tiny heart flickering. Elias's hand on Finn's belly listen. Awestruck. Hours. Challenges crested minor. Media curiosity on Voss family. Boundaries drawn firm. Finn's book deal. Memoir veiled as fiction. Shadows to shores. Penned in stolen hours. Elias beta reader. Edits laced with love notes. Summer solstice. Beach vow renewal. Alki Sands witnesses. Waves chanting. Guests intimate. Riley godparent nominated. Theo uncle aspiring. Through betrayals. Births. Elias pledged. Ring renewed. Fall's palette gilded. Harvest festivals. Pumpkin patches with bellies swelling symbolic. Nonprofit scaled. Chapters in Atlanta, Boise, frontiers Finn once fled, now fortified. Winter's close. Birth in a Seattle birthing center. Dawn light filtering. Sun arriving. Cries clarion. Elias cut cord. Tears streaming. Finn held. Exhausted elated. Named Theo Elias Harpervoss honor. Bridge. Nights fragmented then fused. Feedings, colics, joys and gummy smiles. Elias paternal fierce. Diapers dawn. Lullabies Greek-lilted. Finn sketched nursery murals. Figures dancing free. Identities kaleidoscopic. Years blurred montage. Theo's firsts. Steps in the park. Words mangled dada duel. Challenges evolved. Tantrums tamed. Work balances. But core unyielding. Love's labor. Compassion's compass. One evening. Theo asleep. They sat balcony. City humming below. The bet? Elias mused. Wine swirling. Led here. Absurd grace. Finn leaned in. Seduction to soul. Elias kissed temple. Only one in my heart. Dusk deepened. Stars pricking message etched. Freedom earned in vulnerability. Identity in embrace. Truest betrayal self-forgiven. Their story, endless real. Dramatic. Emotional. Romantic. Human to core.